Hi, yogis. I'm Lizzie Lassiter here with a shavasana called Silence as Self-Empathy. I wrote in my newsletter this week about regret. And if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, you should be. Here is the address, lizzie.yoga, Lizzie.yoga. Go there, sign up. Newsletters every Sunday with encouragement to slow down. I wrote about regret this week, which is a totally normal human emotion. My trigger was getting super angry at my 3.5-year-old twin boys. But whatever your trigger is, we behave sometimes in ways we don't like, and we may regret that behavior. Shavasana, conscious rest, silence, spacious silence, is an opportunity or a technique or modality to help us shift that regret into a softening, into seeing ourselves with soft eyes. It's like a embodied form of self-empathy. The default for many of us when we feel regret is to move towards ruminating and into guilt. This is a different pathway, acknowledging our regret, taking silence, comfort, softness, and shifting towards self-empathy. In this much healthier cycle, not the guilt cycle, but the self-empathy cycle, I believe, and in my experience, this awareness, what we sometimes call seeing ourselves with soft eyes, is actually a more direct path to choosing a different behavior in the future. Shall we move to the mat? I've built a nest now, spread out a really cozy, warm blanket so I'm not in contact with the cold floor. Remember, we want to create a still, dark, quiet, and warm environment. And the concept physically for today's Shavasana is we're going to be kind of like a starfish. We're going to spread the arms wide and the legs wider than usual, but everything is going to be wrapped and held. We're combining the dual sensations of openness and being held. I've got a bolster for my knees. If you don't have a bolster, you can roll up a thick, firm blanket. And I've rolled these long blankets that are going to go against my outer arm. Pillow for my head, eye mask to create darkness, and the final blanket for warmth. Spreading my knees wider, much wider than usual. And I've rolled 2 blankets for the Achilles tendon. Since the feet are spread wide like an X, like a starfish, I need 2 supports for the ankles, 1 for each ankle. I'm going to put on my blanket for warmth now before I go down. Come down onto your elbows. Really bring your lower back in contact with the floor and lower down. So the pillow comes all the way down to the shoulders and tucks under so the chin is slightly lower than the forehead. And now this rolled blanket is providing a backstop so that the arm feels held. Make the arm symmetrical as possible. Last few adjustments to your physical body, maybe tucking in the blanket around you, covering the eyes. I'm going to set a timer for us. The majority of today's practice will be silent. I'll talk us in, and then we'll share the silence, the softening. Perhaps some self-empathy can arise in that spaciousness, and then I'll bring us back together and we'll say goodbye. Eyes covered, arms open, legs open. Belly soft. Release the tongue. Swallow. You are simultaneously opening yourself to the sensations of this moment, but you are held. The reassuring sense of the props pressing against your body, the floor pressing up against you, the weight of the blanket covering you. And with each inhalation, the next few inhalations, invite that sense of opening. almost as if the interior of your body were a balloon and it's getting bigger and bigger with each inhalation. And with each exhalation, feel yourself getting heavier and heavier against the props. Continuing on your own, focusing on the sensations, the sounds, the breath, the ease of this very moment. There's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, there's no one to serve. Let go of ambition, let go, let go, let go. Shavasana. Inhale the breath, exhaling, and begin to unwind from the pose. Roll yourself to the side and press yourself up to sitting. Third eye mask, by the way, you can find also at my website, lizzie.yoga, Lizzie.yoga. That's also the place to sign up for my Sunday newsletter. Encouragement to slow down, links to videos like this, and stories from my struggle to find silence while raising twin boys. Inhale the breath, open the palms away from the body. With an exhalation, bring them together in front of the heart. Namaste. May we live like the lotus, home in the muddy water. Thank you so much for your practice. Last thing I'll say before we close. I read once that generosity is a wonderful tool to combat scarcity mindset when we think we don't have enough. Counterintuitively, when we're generous, when we pay for our friends' coffee or do some small act of generosity in our lives, it signals to our deep reptilian brain that we do have enough, because if we're being generous, then there must be enough there. And I think the same applies to conscious rest. When we feel stressed, there is a deep signal that we're sending to our nervous system when we can afford 20 minutes of lying down and doing nothing, accomplishing nothing, proving nothing, earning nothing, making nothing. We're just being for 20 minutes. And this percolates, trickles down, gets absorbed into our nervous system on many levels. The luxury, the spaciousness of time. Have a great week.